33.
Values of that. I was excited. Oh, I need to back. Very excited to see that this whole building has radiant heating and cooling, and it's tied to a geothermal field that's out under this area. What I mentioned transportation. We talked about whether or not you could have a tall building and have PV somewhere else. Well, I'm just talking about if we accomplish true net zero, but you have to drive 300 miles to and from work, or as I did for a while, I drove from the Bay Area out to Stockton. It was against my religion, but I did it for a while. But look at this, 38.8% for the vehicle. If you had all this zero, it's still big. So where you put this zero energy building is important. I have been riding bicycles year-round to work. For the first 10 years, it was 3.2 miles, but now I do 14. It's about 6,000 miles a year. It saves a lot of carbon, but that hasn't motivated me. We spend too much inside. I like to be outside. And that's a forward that I took. Half of my ride is along the river. But the other thing is, it turns out I was on the track team, ran cross country. I continued to run until my knee said, let's not do that anymore. And so I morphed into being a bicycle guy. There are incredible benefits to vigorous exercise. I will be 70 in September. And this stuff works. Passive solar. Long-standing historical precedence, not a new idea, but there's no corporation has a vested interest in it. This is we've been talking about golden rule number 2. Those with the gold make the rules, or big money has a big influence. And even in California, we make comments about passive solar, but it really gets left out. And they're misnomers, thinking that it only applies to new construction. It can be retrofit. The good news about energy efficiency, which is the most important thing, is you don't see it. The bad news is you don't see it. You have to explain. Even the geosystem. Hey, that thing's down on the ground. Believe me. It's down there. It works. You know, passive solar, if done well, makes the building more attractive than would otherwise be. I have very satisfied customers. This is a house in Colorado Springs. So passive solar is super energy efficiency, all the stuff that Bill talked about and more. Orientation, and there's flexibility there. Glass with shading. I don't have time to go into details of that today, but and thermal mass. How does it work? Well, let's think about comfort. Our comfort is air temperature, humidity, air movement. What's the other piece? One more. Mean radiant temperature. This is always true, no matter where we are, what we're doing. It's true in this room. Think about getting in your car on cold, sunny day, or a moderate sunny day. You get in, the sun's been shining, it makes the car hot. It's just, and you roll down the window, you drive down the street, so you have cool air, but you're still hot. It's because all those surfaces are radiating heat at you. This is always working. And in passive solar, it works to your benefit by heating and cooling the interior. Orientation is the sun angles change and all that. You design the building to take advantage of it. I designed this house for Roger and Margaret Elton in a place called Shenango, southeast of Denver. This is a Google shot that I got off just last week. It's still looking pretty good. This is part of what I was saying about more beautiful this is the Williams House in Evergreen, Colorado. It has movable insulation that slides underneath the skylights and is part of the shading system. Get into the retrofit idea. This is my 1957 vintage house. When I was shopping for a house, I wouldn't look at any house if it didn't have this orientation, the easy orientation, with the long axis running east and west. Or best yet is if the back of the house is south, which this is. This shows one of the clear stories that I've installed. This is the house the way it was when I got there. What I've done in both the kitchen and the living room is I took the existing roof and extended it out and put a vertical window up here. And then opened it below. Changed the geometry. Took plain vanilla, flat ceilings everywhere, and opened it up. This is the location of the two. That's what they look like on the south side. That's north. That's in the north end of the kitchen with winter sun shining in. Since then, we've remodeled the kitchen. It looks like this now. This is looking into the living room. That was the living room. This is it now. The house was added onto in 1980. It's basically an L shape. The last piece that they added was an 8x8 room that connects the two parts of the L. It's just and they cut the corner off at 45 degrees. The flat roof was leaking worse there than anywhere else, and so I took the roof off and put this 12-12 roof on it with two skylights in. It is my favorite room in the house. It's a really swell place. And this was a half bath. We have two of us living in the house with 2.5 bathrooms. We did away with the half bath and made that a little sunroom. Switching to geothermal. I met these fellows, or Dave Malt introduced me to some guys in Portland that were using a ditch switch doing diagonal systems. And this is the customer in the pocket area, Steve Trumbley. This is Obadiah Bartholomew, the guy I mentioned earlier, and they're putting this system in. It's been put in. We're doing some enhancements to the system in the next month, but it's all working quite well. When Dave Mall went around to the neighborhood to let them know that this project was going to happen, he had 5 other people say, "Me too, please, me too, please." And so I don't know how I'm going to fund this yet, but what I'd like to do is my friend Dick Bourne is going to talk about the geohelix system, and I'd like to look at going to those customers and offering them either the geohelix or the diagonal, one or the other, something like that. On my own home, I am adding insulation to the outside of the house. I've started on the east end. It's between the exterior and the shop. I'm adding insulation with stucco on the outside, and we'll do that. We've replaced about 2/3 of the windows. We'll put film on some of them and replace them. And then the back half of the house, I'm right on.
You are.
I'm right on. The back half of the house, the heating and cooling system died 3 years ago, so we don't have anything there now. And I want to put in a geo system using the swimming pool. And there's a movement in Sacramento called May is Bike Month in California. I rode year-round in Denver to 10 below zero. Riding here year-round is easy. Thank you. Question?